We're following the latest developments today on a wave of new threats against Jewish community centers across the country. There have been over a dozen so far today. The FBI is helping local police departments to investigate. Many centers had to be evacuated earlier today. And Jewish graves have also been vandalized. Some have been cleared, but others have caused major panic. Tony Dokoupil has been following the latest and joins us now for more. Tony, what can you tell us about this latest wave of threats?
Well, the count today is up to about 16, and this is wave 5. For those of you keeping track at home, we're looking at about 70 calls, threats since the beginning of 2017. And the range is extraordinary here. It's the Deep South, it's the eastern part of the U.S., it's the center part of the U.S., it's the West. It's really all over the country. And the calls come in a variety of forms. Some are robocalls, kind of like what you would get from a campaign.
Right.
And others are actual human beings, men, women. Some sound like old people, some sound like young people. All kinds of variety. None have actually been real threats with bombs that went off.
Okay.
So they are bomb threats, but it's just been a threat at this point.
Have they been able to tie any of them together?
No, but law enforcement who have looked at this independently say it may actually be beneficial in terms of solving the case. The spread could help because you've got lots of points of contact. And in fact, at these JCCs, these Jewish community centers, there have been conference calls and trainings now to help people prepare for these waves of calls and to actually turn them into investigators. So the person who takes the call will try to keep the caller on the line,
right,
try to ask for specifics, note any regionalisms, any weird phrases, anything that could help investigators narrow the range of possible callers, go into particular neighborhoods, say, oh, that sounds like a Mississippi accent, that kind of thing.
Now, we saw the gravesite in St. Louis that was vandalized, and then there was one in Philadelphia over the weekend. Do they feel that those may be tied to these threats as well?
Well, and don't forget Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Right.
I mean, there is a disturbing pattern, according to the Anti-Defamation League and also the Southern Poverty Law Center. They've seen an uptick in anti-Semitism throughout 2016 and now cresting with not just threats online or the occasional comment in person, but these real menacing situations. And the scenes that have come out of this, we've got one up here on the board,
right,
have been really dramatic. I mean, these community centers are not really houses of worship. They are places to gather. They are for kids after school. They are for tutoring. They are for old people to do exercise class.
And people of all different faiths. If you know your local Jewish community center, you don't have to be Jewish necessarily to go play at the pickup basketball game there if you want to.
Totally. It is an all-purpose rec space. And so when these calls come in, you end up seeing images of very young kids from daycare being pushed outside. You know, there are elderly people climbing out of the pools. It's very frightening. And if the intent here is to menace, the JCC of North America is the first to admit that this has certainly been menacing. But fortunately, so far, it doesn't appear to be terroristic in that nothing has actually exploded.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody hopes that remains to be the case, even if the threats do continue. Tony, thank you for the very latest. We appreciate it.